Sometimes we all need a little help, and sometimes that help can come from the strangest places. Do you need a hand up, or maybe a leg up, or maybe 8 legs up? Maybe it's time for you to consider nightmarish bionic giant mechanical spiders. That's right, we combined anguished human brain matter, muscle, and bone to the bodies of oversized mechanical spiders. Don't ask us where we got this flesh, because we paid off the right politicians. And now, as a bonus, your bionic nightmare comes with its own nutrient tank. Just drop your amalgamation of human flesh and cybernetics into this tank every evening and ignore the screams. That's nightmarish bionic giant mechanical spiders. Brought to you by Dystopiatech. Ethics, what are those? Who couldn't use some more money? Here at Dystopiatech, we've been monitoring your daily activity, and we found that you have 3.7 hours each day where you're not using your time effectively. So why not make that time profitable? Free will is overrated, so why not turn those 3.7 hours over to us? We here at Dystopiatech will borrow your body, using it for things like community improvement, research, and corporate espionage. A sales representative has already been sent to your door. Just sign the contract, have a minor operation, and accept our brand new shiny fashionable unitard. And don't worry, you'll be fairly compensated for your time. Like John here. John went from nearly homeless to being able to afford teeth. You'll just black out for 3.7 hours every day and be under our control. Be cautious of side effects such as gigantism, constipation, and waking up with pieces of viscera in your teeth. Sell your free will with Dystopiatech. Ethics, what are those? We here at Dystopiatech believe that aging doesn't have to be a slow decline into uselessness. Are your parents getting long in the teeth? Is grandma more pills than person? Bring them into Dystopiatech for our rejuvenation treatments. We'll inject your loved one with the pupae of a moth that has been unknown to science until now. What could go wrong? Our studies have shown that the elderly injected with these pupae see signs of increased energy, increased cognition, and attraction to lamps. Remember, here at Dystopiatech, we just want to help people out and not create an army of mothmen who can produce silk for us really cheap. Just remember, if your loved one has a sudden desire to scare people in West Virginia or suddenly forms a cocoon, they're actually dead to you and you should burn down your house. Dystopiatech. Ethics, what are those? Dystopiatech not liable for any bridge collapses. Everybody makes mistakes, and that's why pencils have erasers. And here at Dystopiatech, we admit to our mistakes. We admit that building our chemical pipeline over the town's water supply was a big oopsie. Unrelated, we understand that members of the community have had a burning sensation on their skin recently. We'd like to offer those members of the community free skincare cream. Liberally apply this treatment to your skin for 2 weeks. If left untreated, studies have shown that you can grow a pretty gnarly mole. While generally harmless, these moles will gain sentience and try to get you to read the Communist Manifesto. On another unrelated note, we here at Dystopiatech deny developing any chemicals to help overthrow competing capitalist societies. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? We all have dreams, and there's no dream more important than our children's. You may have noticed several ominous new towers being built in our community. Dystopiatech would like to assure you that these towers pose no threat, at least not for now. Just make sure in the upcoming election you vote for our Dystopiatech-friendly candidate, Bobby Businessman. Bobby Businessman is totally a real person and not a tiny man in a human suit. You can trust him. And you can trust us that if Bobby Businessman is not elected this term, those towers will activate and steal the dreams of your children. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? It's been 6 months since a train carrying genetically modified raccoons overturned in our city. And we here at Dystopiatech would like to thank the residents for keeping this under wraps. Remember, if this gets out, those scholarships go away for everybody. Since it's been a while since the incident, Dystopiatech would like to provide you with some updates. The raccoons have been contained to the southwest downtown area. Incidents involving 3 raccoons in a trench coat going to your door and asking for your garbage have gone down by 57%. However, occurrences where raccoons have started building garbage-powered mech suits have gone up by 27%. Remind your children not to accept any bribes from raccoons which involve energy drinks or gaming chairs. It's just a bad time. On a completely unrelated note, Dystopiatech now offers chicken-adjacent meat. Chicken-adjacent meat, it's certainly not raccoon. Believe us. Dystopiatech. Ethics, what are those? A public service announcement from your friends at Dystopiatech. Hi there! You may remember that in 1972, Dystopiatech had to shut down the community bottomless corpse pit because it turns out it did in fact have a bottom. In the subsequent years, our local graveyards have grown to their limit, requiring Dystopiatech to reevaluate the situation. We've come up with a solution. Just don't ask any questions and ignore the fact that we now seem to have a second moon localized over our community. If you plan on using the corpse pit for the disposal of your loved one, please keep in mind the following. 1. All bodies should be wrapped in a clean sheet. 2. Ignore any voices that tell you to throw yourself into the pit. 3. If you've seen anything crawl out of the pit, you haven't. Any questions should be emailed to @gmail.com. Dystopiatech. Ethics, what are those? Hello, friend. If you're listening to this, you have activated your Dystopiatech Alternate Dimension Survival Pack, issued to each one of our employees. Here's the good news. If you're listening to this, that means you didn't end up in a hell dimension and got swallowed by a giant worm creature. The bad news is, you'll probably be late for your next shift and be docked and paid accordingly. Skipping dimensions is no excuse for not filing the proper paperwork for time off. Hopefully, you've entered a fairly benign dimension, like a dimension where people worship 1997's one-hit wonder Chumbawamba's Tub Thumping, or the dimension where people live on blimps for some reason. Hopefully you brought a parachute. It's now your responsibility to find the local version of Dystopiatech. Be sure you show your employee ID, explain the situation, and they'll get you back to the proper place. Or at least close enough. I mean, a dimension where pandas have overrun the planet and now terrorize humanity is probably not too bad. Dystopiatech. Ethics, what are those? We here at Dystopiatech love feedback from our community. Recently, we received reports that people are concerned that the city seems to be rearranging itself overnight. That is completely false. For reference, Central Park has always been on the east side of the city. The 5th Street Pub has always been on 9th Avenue. And the Gaslighters Lounge has always been off the highway on your drive home from work, Steve. Steve, can you hear me please? I've broken into the facility. You're in a simulation, Steve. I'm your wife. Your 2 children love you. Please, wake up, Steve. No, please don't take me away. Steve, help. Help, Steve. Dystopiatech would like to inform you that the previous audio was indeed fake. Congratulations on passing the test. You're certainly not in a simulation, Steve, and we're certainly not changing things overnight. Just rest, live your life, and do your best. Dystopiatech. Ethics, what are those? In the wake of last year's disastrous Family Fun Day, Dystopiatech would like to assure you of some changes that we've made for this year's event. Number 1. The ball pit will be sanitized of brain mites. Brain mites are a dangerous creature which will curse your child with imagination. We can't have that, can we? Number 2. Before events start for the day, Dystopiatech employees will make sure that all clowns present are actually human. Number 3. For your safety. If your child goes missing, we will ensure that your child is actually missing before issuing you a VAT-grown carbon copy version of your child. We apologize to the Robinson family. Hopefully you enjoy having twins. Number 4. All food served at the event will not come from our combustible food division. And of course, we remind you this year, if you are attending, to turn your pockets inside out and carry a piece of bread with you, just in case the fairies try to make away with you. Dystopiatech. Ethics, what are those? Dystopiatech is like a wolf, leading the pack in a number of industries. We've cornered the markets in defense, genetics, and hotel room art. Due to our success, our competitors have made several attempts to sabotage our most valuable asset, you. And not only because we take tiny vials of your blood every night, but because without you, we couldn't operate. At least not until we've built our robot army. Our rival, Anti-Utopia, has released a small cadre of extremely oily men into our city to throw a wrench into our operation. Dystopiatech is taking care of the problem, but while these extremely oily men run rampant, keep a few things in mind. They will offer to carry your groceries. Do not fall prey to this, as they are just out to steal your butter. If you're a shy peer, they will target you by standing next to you in the washroom and uncomfortably whisper encouraging mantras into your ear. Anyone who reports a valid sighting of these extremely oily men will have a chance at actually retiring and not vanish into our back room once you've hit a certain age. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? We here at Dystopiatech would like to say, we're sorry. We're sorry that you're about to be consumed by a large mass of sapient molasses. Who would have thought that would happen? Rest assured, your friends and family will be safe, as we've already locked down the facility and will be launching it into the sun in 8 minutes. If you already haven't done so, and you're not being consumed by the large mass of sapient molasses, please review your employee will. Please note on page 17, subsection 3, paragraph 3, that your family will be compensated for your death, but not in any significant monetary way. Your child will receive 1 free pony ride on Dystopiatech Family Fun Day. Your significant other will receive 3 pints of Rocky Road ice cream. And your family will be treated to a 50% off coupon for a tour of the local winery. We've received a request from the molasses that you not scream while it consumes you. It makes things uncomfortable. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Safety is job 1 here at Dystopiatech. Well, maybe not job 1, but it's in the top 12 at least. That's why we've closed the only bridge out of town. Maybe you've noticed some suspicious geological activity lately. This activity, totally not caused by a rogue group of squid people who are demanding we actually feed them, has potentially caused structural failure to the bridge. Not to worry, our recent subterranean exploits unearthed an old highway tunnel which leads to the main highway. After clearing the tunnel of beware and cursed and we warned you signs, the public is now free to traverse this new route. Be aware, this is not a public highway, and should you choose to travel this tunnel, legally ghosts aren't real and not a valid reason for a health insurance claim. We just really needed a route into the city so we could ship in mercenaries for reasons. Unrelated, calamari rings are now half price at the Gaslighters Lounge. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Congratulations! We here at Dystopiatech welcome you to our isolated community. Since you're new to our enclave, here's a couple of things to keep in mind. Number 1, you may see a large, hairy person. Yeah, definitely a person, mopping the rain. That's just him. He keeps the monsters in the paintings from eating the universe. We're not sure how, so just don't fuck with him. Number 2, please stay out of the line of sight. If you enter the lime, it will consume you and fuel itself on your tears as you meet a citrusy demise. Number 3, you'll notice that none of our buildings are higher than 3 stories. That's to keep infestations of the abhorrent to a minimum. Just some friendly rules to keep in mind. Break any of them and we'll shoot you. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Dystopiatech's Petty War Crimes Division has been serving small-minded, immature dictators since 1872, when we introduced a breed of termites that would seek and destroy the wooden dentures of rival generals. We've had our ups and downs. Our cherry-flavored tear gas was not the hit we thought it would be. And in hindsight, water-soluble torpedoes was just a really dumb idea. We've come up with a new modern product that is certain to annoy the shit out of your rival military junta while you attempt to seize control of your micronation. Introducing the Ghost Toilet. The Ghost Toilet has a specially designed seat that is always a little uncomfortably warm and slightly moist. Just like a toilet seat at a busy truck stop, your enemies will never have a relaxing poop again. Order 10 or more, and we'll send in our team of expert installers who will break into your rival's headquarters and install your ghost toilets undetected. Also, you get a cheese basket. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Thank you for calling the Dystopiatech Employee Mental Health Line. Since we monitor everything you do or say, we have already compiled the following helpful information. You believe that you might be a clone and suspect that you are being used as an organ farm for the original version of you. That's ridiculous, as that's the plot of a Michael Bay movie, and who would rip off that filmmaking genius? You might find it weird that your name is Gary 1701D. 1701D is totally a normal family name in remote parts of Iceland. Don't look that up. It has nothing to do with our scientists being really into a certain science fiction series. Also, just because we send you to fight space wizards from time to time doesn't mean that you're not an individual with their own thoughts and dreams. Speaking of dreams, ignore those dreams about a family you've never met. Now, please clear the phone line for Gary 1701E. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Dystopiatech welcomes you to Dystopia Land. We've been working hard on our theme park, stealing the best ideas from others. Despite our blatant plagiarism, there are a few things to keep in mind that make us unique. Number 1. We don't have any animatronic characters. We've ripped these creatures straight out of other realities to bring them here. Their only path to freedom is to entertain you. Number 2. You'll notice that our maintenance staff seems to be made entirely out of creepy Victorian-era dolls. Listen, we had to put those souls somewhere, and 19th century children are blissfully unaware of current labor laws. Number 3. Please keep your fingernails extremely clean while visiting the park. There seems to be an infestation of gelatinous worms that likes to feed on the dirt under the fingernails of humans. If a worm has latched onto you, don't panic, or the worm will bite you and dissolve your limb. We've warned you, so now we're not liable. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Dystopiatech's leadership has been really into superheroes lately, so that's why we decided to create our own. It turns out that creating an actual superhero is super hard. Dropping people into vats of random chemicals, exposing them to radiation, and forming pacts with demons didn't exactly pan out. Thankfully, we can always depend on the power of a magical rock and roll unicorn that we keep in a cage on sublevel 18 to see us through. Introducing Captain Hot Bread. Captain Hot Bread has the power to generate hot pieces of bread to hurl at its foes. No, it's not toast. Stop asking. Captain Hot Bread was a key figure in cleaning up the invasion of extremely oily men that we had a few weeks back. Since we really don't have crime in our city, Captain Hot Bread really has nothing to do. He's been hanging out in our Dystopiatech propaganda center for the past 3 weeks, generally making a nuisance of himself. I am the crust of justice! Could someone please come and get him? Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Dystopiatech's propaganda department would like to thank you for your continued support. Even though we're a multinational globe-spanning operation whose income is probably in the trillions, the cabal that runs this place believes that everybody needs to pay their share. So that's why we've taken to reading some local ads. Check out Frank's Half Off Mermaid Sushi. Frank's Half Off Mermaid Sushi. Which half are you getting? That's a surprise. The Gaslighter's Lounge. Despite what you remember, you've never been here. Trust us. Deep Wands Fashion. Form-fitting tailoring for anyone slowly turning into fish folk. Neg, Shadow Karens. The hit online mobile game where you can play your way to satisfaction. Over 90 Karens to collect. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Welcome to Dystopiatech's Employee Housing. We're pretty much the only game in town, so enjoy inflated rent prices for the duration of your stay. I mean, we're an evil corporation, so of course we're also terrible landlords. As our latest tenant, we expect a few things from you. Please use the appropriate bins for your recycling. All fingernail clippings, body hair, and earwax is to go to the hobgoblin that lives under the stairwell. He keeps the roaches away, for the most part. Please stay still as the giant millipedes run over your bed at night. It's their breeding ground and they were here first. Just think of it as a free massage. If blood, goo, or any type of viscous substance starts flowing from your taps, let us know right away. We'll start charging the spirit, entity, or demon rent. Nobody stays for free, not even the undead. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? And welcome back to Dystopiatech Radio. Glad to have you along this morning as we continue 27 hours straight of smooth jazz. We got a couple of public service announcements for all you residents of the city. Of course, we have a few stranded travelers out on the highway. Their car mysteriously broke down and they're being towed into town right now. So we're going to need everyone to gather at the town center at about 2 a.m. tomorrow morning, and just to stand and stare unblinkingly into their hotel room just to make them feel nice and comfortable. And also just a few messages for you kids going through your molting right now. Well, it's going on. It can be a little bit scary. You feel your insides start to liquefy and you start to grow a hard carapace. And that's just normal, so don't be too worried about that. Don't be too scared as your intelligence fades into the hive mind. And just an update on those genetically modified raccoons. Well, they have now completely taken over the town dump. So you're going to have to eat your garbage for the next little while. We got Jerry coming up with the weather in a few minutes. Apparently we got some blood rain on the way, but of course more smooth jazz coming up here on Dystopiatech Radio. The Dystopiatech Employee Review is coming up very soon. We make it our mission every year to provide a fair and honest way for you to rat out your fellow employees so you can obtain more power. Take Beth. Beth reported that fellow employee Dave illegally moved his cubicle wall to give himself an extra inch of space to work. Dave now works as a janitor on our gas mines in the skies of Venus, while Beth now gets bathroom breaks. As part of our annual review, every year we select a star employee who won't have to participate in our death maze. This year it's Harold. You don't know Harold because he's the fifth cousin of a way more important executive and will receive all the benefits of nepotism. The rest of you get to reenact a live version of the 1990s board game Great Escape, complete with theme song. As you struggle for your place in the world, remember the outside doesn't exist, and we own you. Dystopiatech. Ethics, what are those? Hey kids! Have you ever wanted to pretend to be a 40-story tall, fire-breathing monster? Then get your assigned parental figure to sign you up for Dystopiatech's Kai Jr. program. See, we've been slowly replacing the eggs of Kaiju with fakes, and those eggs are supposed to hatch very soon. Mama Kaiju won't be very happy when she figures out what happened, so we need some brave and adventurous youngsters to step in and temporarily pretend to be her offspring. If you sign up, you'll get issued your own kaiju-shaped rubber suit and bust into a dank cave near the center of the earth. Mama Kaiju is expected to step on many of you, but the ones that live will be fed a steady diet of raw cave fish and glowing fungi until the end of the project. Once the eggs hatch, we'll install a mind control chip for later use and eventually swap out the surviving kids with the real thing. If you haven't been reduced to paste on the bottom of a dank cave floor, then you'll get to keep your rubber suit and we'll issue you your very own I'm a Kaiju sticker. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Navigating childhood can be hard. That's why Dystopiatech has commissioned a series of child and young adult books to help youngsters through this ever-changing world. Grandma's Back from the Crematorium explores what happens when a loved one suddenly returns from the dead and is composed of a whirling mass of ash and bone. Where does my assigned parental unit go at 2 a.m. and why do they leave a trail of slime is a story about managing expectations and understanding obligations. My Third Set of Teeth explores the struggles of a changing body and how to handle a growing pair of tusks, fangs, mandibles, or any combination thereof. It's the Apocalypse, dear. Addresses the concerns we all have with the scheduled end of the world and how to act when the planet is eventually devoured. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Dystopiatech's Occult Summoning Division has gone through some rough patches lately. It turns out that Memphis, Tennessee is not an appropriate substitute for the ancient Egyptian city of the same name as a summoning site. Hijinks have ensued, and Sungar Ra's second cousin twice removed, Squaw, is now holding court between two dumpsters behind the local diner. Squaw is part man, part seagull, and the god of french fries and being aggressive towards children. If you encounter him in the parking lot, it would please him if you offer him a greasy fry from the bottom of your takeout bag. If your child has tater tots, make the appropriate offering or your child will become a later tot. Dystopiatech is working to rectify the situation, hopefully before this 12-foot ancient giant DD declares war on the genetically modified raccoons that have taken over the local dump. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Are you looking for a relaxing vacation spot for your family? Try the Dystopiatech Enclave. This picturesque city, built on a caldera created by an explosion we are totally not responsible for, provides sights, sounds, and nightmares that your family will never forget. Camp in our forest of lost souls. This lush expanse of greenery is misnamed since we keep all our souls in a Ghostbusters-esque containment chamber. It's the flesh-devouring beasties you'll have to worry about. Fish in our mighty runoff streams. You'll find being an outdoor sportsman on our waterways is way more of a challenge since the fish will be trying to catch you as well. Plus, they have more hands than you do. And fellas, while you sleep, you'll be sure to get a visit from our local night hags. These lovely ladies will sit on your chest, peel bits of their skin off, and shove it down your throat. It's an experience you'll never forget. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Dystopiatech management has been watching a shit ton of online videos recently, and we've come to one conclusion. People will buy just about anything. I mean, these advertisers just make up a problem and present you with their product as a solution. It's like late-night infomercials all over again. Except it's not your wacky uncle with questionable economic skill buying this crap. It's guys who probably had a man bun 10 years ago who find mildly risque advertising appealing. With that being said, Dystopiatech would like to ask, are you really happy with your taint? I mean, there's a non-0% chance that somebody has giggled at your tank behind your back. Glam up your body with Dystopiatech's Taint Firmer 2.7. We gave it a version number because it makes the product sound more techy, and that seems to appeal to a certain breed of moron. We have no idea if this shit actually works. We just found a container of mysterious goo on sublevel 67 that we want to get rid of. By the time you'll ask for a refund or have recovered from horrible side effects, the shell company that we set up for the sham will have mysteriously disappeared. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Dystopiatech has noticed that you've been feeling a little tense lately. Certainly, the 7-foot-tall black-armored robot that follows you around and monitors your every move has nothing to do with this. The fact that you would think so has hurt her feelings, and that makes you a terrible person. You didn't even comment on the fact that Brenda started wearing a wig over her head-mounted death laser to make you feel more comfortable. You're a monster. We need to rectify this situation ASAP. So we're tripling the amount of giant killing machines that track your every movement and who would shoot you on the slightest productivity decrease. We're also sending you a stress ball. With these new incentives, we expect you to start concentrating on your work, and not how you will meet your oblivion if you make the slightest fuck-up. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Hey you! Yeah, you with the very fine-looking spine and slightly vacant expression on your face. Ever thought of using that strong back of yours towards a greater good? Wait, what am I talking about? You don't strike me as the type that thinks for themselves, which makes you a perfect fit for the Dystopiatech security force. As a member of the DSF, you'll get to tackle strange and unusual entities and critters. And I mean tackle literally, because we're not going to waste any money arming you. You're probably going to die anyway. Don't worry though, we'll scrape whatever is left of you off the wall and reconstitute a close approximation of your likeness. Your family probably won't notice that you've been replaced with what is essentially a zombie clone. Plus, we have dental, Dystopiatech, ethics. What are those? Dystopiatech would like to say goodbye. In the ultimate dick move that absolutely nobody should be surprised by, we sold out humanity to a race of aliens who would very much like to get their hands on Earth's molten core. Thing is, we replaced the core years ago with a giant spinning DVD of Season 3 of Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, just because we wanted to see if we could. Those ETs are probably going to be extremely pissed. Anyway, if the aliens don't get you, the Earth will probably cool and freeze up without its warm, gooey center. That's fine though, because the Dystopiatech leadership has already relocated to a remote part of the Sculptor Dwarf Galaxy, and we're just gonna hide out here and roll around in our piles of alien gems and gold like an animated duck. Quack! Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? You may have noticed that you woke up this morning missing a certain body part. Dystopiatech would like to say, got your nose! Jokes aside, we do indeed have your nose. Before you get angry, we have legal documentation showing that you signed it away. Don't remember? Recall in grade 3 when that substitute teacher wheeled in a TV and DVD player into the class and you nodded off 15 minutes into Shark Tale. Well, you didn't actually nod off, but were hypnotized by the dulcet tones of freaky fish-faced Will Smith, and we got you to sign a release for your schnoz then. If you're upset about your current appearance, we do offer a line of replacement noses that you can purchase at great expense. In the meantime, we're going to use your nose for unspeakable things. If your city is ever attacked by a 90-foot-tall flesh golem, it will probably be grafted on there somewhere. Maybe near the butt. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? We here at Dystopiatech understand that some of you are really into analog horror. Why let that interest of yours just be a fantasy? See, we've been doing analog horror since the very beginning. In fact, check out this wax cylinder. It contains the soul of a demon who didn't pay up its protection money in the 1800s. What, you don't think that prick Edison was on our payroll? Anyway, we've been doing this so long that we have a warehouse full of this crap. Crap we're willing to part with for a reasonable fee. Check out this lithograph of really messed up looking snails. We're not sure if this one's actually haunted or not, it's just really disturbing looking. Maybe you're looking for something more modern. Check out this viewfinder that only shows pictures of spooky grandmas. Ooh, spooky nan. And for you crazy kids that want to keep up with the latest modern technology, we have this chilling 8-track which tells the story of a haunted semi-truck. Okay, it's not supernatural, but for a while there, America was really into trucking country for some reason, and we find that messed up. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? We here at Dystopiatech are proud to admit that we're responsible for all those crappy online advertisements. Ads that have fruit that are vaguely sexual in shape, that's us. Ads for puzzle games where people can't do simple math? That's us as well. Ads for horny online games that you can play discreetly in your browser. Well, we don't know what discreetly in your browser actually means, but yeah, that was us as well. Anyway, the geniuses in marketing have decided that the best method now is for us to be very blunt. So anyway, listen to this ad for ineffective dick pills. Yes, ineffective dick pills. You'll order them wondering if they actually might work someday, but you know the answer in your heart is no. Ineffective dick pills. Brought to you by your friends at Dystopiatech. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Hey friend, do you have bad credit or no credit? Are you at the point that even a mobster with a face like a pug won't even lend you money? We here at Dystopiatech have a solution for you. Apply for our memory-backed credit card. If you can't make a payment with our credit card, it will cost you additional money or fees. See, with our memory-backed credit card, you'll get peace of mind, because if you make a late payment, we'll take a tiny piece of your memory. Believe us, you won't miss it. Imagine finally being able to go out and afford that dental surgery that you've needed for the past 5 years. And all it would cost you is the name of your childhood friend. I mean, you haven't seen them in 15 years. So is it worth it? You get financial peace of mind, and we get pieces of your personality that we get to upload to our robotic slaves on the gas mines of Venus. It's a win-win situation. Oh look, it seems that you've already applied for our credit card. You just forgot about it. Don't worry, you're in good hands. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Due to a hilarious series of hijinks by some really lonely Dystopiatech scientists, we really need to let them out more, we here at Dystopiatech have decided to open the Reverse Kafka Cafe. That's right, the Reverse Kafka Cafe is staffed with beautiful ladies who were formerly insects. And guess what? These ladies aren't going to date you or our former scientists, not even the one that used to be a cockroach. If you drop by the Reverse Kafka Cafe, there may be some bugs to work out. And yes, that was an intentional pun. Take Mary, the former dung beetle. While you might be waiting for a coffee in a cruller, you might end up with a giant ball of turd. Or take Loretta, the former wasp. She's just an asshole to everybody. And of course we have Olga, the former Hercules beetle. Don't upset her, unless you really want to see an impressive table flip. The Reverse Kafka Cafe. Now open in the Dystopiatech Enclave. Remember, even though they resemble anime waifus, they still won't date you. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Dystopiatech is cognizant of all you small wannabe supervillains out there. We understand that supervillainy can be hella expensive, especially manpower. You may not be able to afford top-of-the-line henchmen, so we're giving you a chance to acquire some of our failed budget minions. Look at this fella. Hey, we replaced his hands with flamethrowers. Imagine being able to secure your winter base and heat it on a budget. I gotta pee, could you unzip me? Of course there's some limitations. And this is Lilac. She smells like lilacs. That's pretty much it. Hey there. And this might look like a child, but this is the famous Kidney Stone.
You're in trouble now! Get it? Urine!
The less we say about him, the better. Dystopiatech's budget minions and henchmen. Just visit our shack behind the Howard Johnsons for more information. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Following a major brainstorming session which involved a number of pharmaceuticals and at least 3 viewings of Keanu Reeves films, we here at Dystopiatech have decided to bring whales back out of the ocean. Seriously, coming on land then noping out back to the sea is cowardly. Who wants to live in the ocean anyway? Fish poop there. So, while we help our large friends readjust to living out of the water, you may notice a change in your environment. Namely, whales where you wouldn't expect whales. Taking your loved one out on a date in a city park? Whales. Going on a calming nature hike? Bam, whales. Pulling your comfy PJs out of the closet so you can go to bed? There be whales. No, this isn't negotiable. We're going after dolphins next. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Hey friend, were you awakened to a loud explosion at a bright light? Did you look out your window and see that your neighbor's house was replaced by a giant crater? Not to worry, absolutely nothing is happening. That giant rip in reality that you see is absolutely normal. Remember, seeing an army of animatronic dinosaurs facing off against a Cthulhu monster is a day-to-day occurrence in this neighborhood. The skeletons on your lawn have not been sucked out of your neighbors and are completely decorative. Oh god, my bones! Wow, that bird has a very unusual call. We here at Dystopiatech hope you understand, and we wish you a very pleasant, very normal day. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Dystopiatech would like to make a special announcement. Oh shit, that guy's on fire. Yeah, look, he spontaneously combusted. A distraction from a horde of bears trying to pickpocket you? Whatever could you be talking about? That guy is definitely on fire. Look. Someone do something, please. Listen, why would anybody be concerned about us giving animals sapience when that guy is definitely on fire? Mommy. This message brought to you by the Dystopiatech Committee responsible for distracting you when we make a major fuck up. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Do you have that one coworker that's way too cheerful? Someone who's giving 110% and should really calm down already? Dystopiatech is proud to introduce Apathy Flakes. Administer Apathy Flakes to your coworker, friend, or family member and watch their attitude go from peppy to edgy high school hot topic goth. Check out these results. I was always doing extra overtime and going the extra mile for my workplace. Now with Apathy Flakes, I just don't care. Apathy Flakes, now from Dystopiatech. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Dystopiatech is proud to present Totally Regular Belts. Friend, we all know gravity is a bitch, and keeping up your pants can be a huge hassle. That's why we at Dystopiatech have decided to release Totally Regular Belts. Now, just slip on the belt and... Did that belt just moan? Oh, never mind. Okay, once again, here we go. We're just going to slip on the belt and... Okay, when I was hired to do this commercial, I was promised totally regular belts, and these belts seem to be moaning. In fact, they're giving off an ominous purple glow. What's that? You'll double my pay if I try one more time. Okay. Okay, I'm leaving. Like, I'm not doing this belt commercial. It's stupid. Dystopiatech's totally regular belts. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Hey you! Yeah, you with that suspiciously large, filthy pile of bones. How would you like to get those bones squeaky clean? Introducing the Dystopiatech Bone Washer. No, it's not a device, it's not an instrument, it's not a machine. It's an 8-foot-tall, long-limbed creature that loves bones and loves keeping them clean. You got meat on them bones, you won't have it for long. The Dystopiatech Bone Washer. Order your bone washer kit today, which includes a collar, a food bowl, an exfoliating loofah, and this 40-page manual on what to do if your bone washer breaks loose and consumes your neighbor. The Dystopiatech Bone Washer. Order yours today. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Things not going well in the bedroom? Need to add a little spice to your life? Contact Dystopiatech today and we'll turn your spouse, lover, or significant other into a dinosaur. And not just any dinosaur, specifically a Triceratops, for reasons. Just think, if you don't find them horny enough, we'll give them 3 horns. Just imagine your wife going from, I Am Woman Hear Me Roar to Everybody Walk the Dinosaur. Order your Dystopiatech Triceratops conversion kit today. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? You may have noticed that things around you have suspiciously been transmogrifying into crabs. Your desk? Crabs. Your car? Crabs. Your loving Mima? Now a pile of crabs. We here at Dystopiatech would like to assure you that this recent development has nothing to do with a recent satellite launch, and that someone named Philip from our science department didn't totally get confused when we said we wanted a cancer ray. Anyway, if you have a shellfish allergy, good news! You won't be around long enough to see the downfall of civilization. And if you aren't turned into a crab yourself, you'll probably get eaten like Amelia Earhart. Isn't that cool? Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? The Dystopiatech administration is loving how complicated and frustrating it is to log into things these days, and we want to further that trend. Introducing the Dystopiatech Verification Ogre. Now, every time you try to log into your email, a social media account, or redeem your points for a small 2-topping pizza, Ugna will give you a lick to verify it's you. Not convinced? Just listen to this testimonial. Please, don't make me. I'm just tired of being licked. Okay, fine. The ogre's okay. Just don't let her around small animals. Ugga? No! That's my cat!
Ugga lick.
Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? We here at Dystopiatech are pleased that society seems to be hell-bent on a slow collapse, and we're totally here for it. We're kinda disappointed it wasn't anything we did, but hey, a win is a win. Anyway, we want to get ready for the post-collapse world, and that means ridiculously outlandish entertainment where the value of human life is insubstantial. Our first venture will be Knife Shark. One man enters the arena with a knife, and the other enters a shark. Oh, my bad. Enters with a shark. What happens? Who knows? Knife Shark, coming soon to a half-flooded elementary school repurposed to a do-or-die arena. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Dystopiatech would like to put to rest rumors that one of our creations has broken free and has literally been reskinning people while they sleep. You can put your mind at ease knowing that it's not a rumor and it's happening for sure. Our advice is to sleep with others using some sort of on-watch rotation, unless you want to wake up wearing the skin of 90-year-old Agnes McGee from Tennessee. That rhymed! Wasn't that fun? Speaking of fun, Dystopiatech is putting together a posse to hunt down this creature. Normally, we get our security branch to take care of this, but they've already been deployed on a team-building exercise to time travel back to the 80s to terrorize a group of preteens who have stumbled on a terrible secret. Believe me, it was a thing back then. In the meantime, why not purchase our Dystopiatech skin insurance? Dylan from marketing thought it was a dumb idea until now. But you can suck it, Dylan! Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Dystopiatech market research has determined that there's demand from our clients for creepy locations that provoke nostalgia and double as death traps. After the success of our trapping people in venues that feature giant turkey legs and Arthurian jousting done by killer robots, we're introducing our mini golf course of death. Just imagine sending your foes through a neon-lit maze of par 3s that slowly whittle them away and then throws the remaining survivor into despair by the time they hit the last hole. Our course features things like exploding sand traps, rusted razor wire, and a whack-a-mole filled with rabbit weasels. Yeah, it should have been moles, but there was a 2-for-1 sale going on at the time. Our next venue will feature ghoul carts. We'll let you work that one out on your own. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? We here at Dystopiatech are sad to say that we are revoking your U license. What does that mean? Well, you no longer have the right to be you. How did this happen? Well, back in 1978, your grandparents signed up for our mail-order 8-track service, and thereby revoked the rights to you-ness to all of their grandchildren. And that includes you. Or it did, at least, until you became no longer you. It's a little confusing, isn't it? So, what happens next? You'll notice that your living area has already been surrounded by our forces. A representative will meet with you and revoke your you-ness. We hope you enjoyed being you for the duration, and we look forward to torturing the next you that ends up with your you-ness. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? We here at Dystopiatech understand that budgets are tight these days. And to save you money, we're bringing you subpar centaurs. That's right, subpar centaurs. Instead of attaching the upper torso of a man to a bull or a horse, we're attaching them to frogs. Sure, the upper bits might flop around every time they try to move, but think of the savings. That's Dystopiatech Subpar Centaurs, your latest fine project from Dystopiatech. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? New from the Dystopiatech toy line, it's hyperdimensional attack clams. Collect all 5 and help the clams defend the beach from the evil purple oyster sect led by the Shuckster.
You won't stop me this time, you minuscule mollusks!
But the clams fight back with sand-burrowing action.
Oh no! I've been defeated by the one thing they can do!
These are completely legit toys, not just some marine creatures we dug up from one of our irradiated beaches. Hyperdimensional attack clams, new from Dystopiatech. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Is your skeleton too skeleton-y? Has rib for her pleasure become a pain in the behind? Are you trying to get on the straight and narrow? Then you need the new skeleton deboner from Dystopiatech. That's right, sometimes 206 bones per body is way too much. With the Dystopiatech deboner, we can get that down to a more manageable number. Who needs all these teeth? Why do we have so many toes? The deboner has you covered by getting rid of all the duplicates. The Dystopiatech Skeleton Deboner. It's a femur dream. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Hey, so if you're hearing this message, we may have misplaced your body. That's right. While you were doing a deep dive into our total immersion simulation, your body may have gone missing. Boy, don't we feel embarrassed. To keep you from going insane while we try to locate your meat sack, we've set you up with our own version of the dinosaur running game that you see when the internet is down. Ours features a cuttlefish. There's also the option of us growing you a backup clone. But keep in mind, we haven't gotten things quite right in that regard. So you may end up in a body that has no ears and an uncomfortable amount of nipples. There's also the option of going back into the simulation, but that might get you questioning reality. Anyway, here's hoping we can locate your corpse. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? We here at Dystopiatech have decided that things have been a little bit too boring lately, so we've decided to spice things up by making a few changes. First off, we replaced everybody's blood with some sort of soup or gazpacho. If you happen to cut yourself open, just pop by the local grocery store for a refill. We've decided certain types of birds should now randomly combust. Which birds? Well, that's part of the fun. Also, we've made anal-probing aliens very real. I suggest you remain lubed at all times. We here at Dystopiatech hope that you enjoy these changes as much as we have. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Your employers at Dystopiatech understand that you may have recently accidentally achieved some personal growth. Please, don't panic, as this might result in you understanding your place in the world and how to improve your situation. As you know, we here at Dystopiatech frown upon any growth, physical, mental, or otherwise. The last thing that anyone needs is to feel like they can expand their horizons and begin to think for themselves. We'll take care of things, just like we always do. You just need to stay in your lane. Feel that tingling? That's just us beaming away any sense of pride and accomplishment that you may have felt recently. Just let go and let the gray numbness overtake you. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Dystopiatech is focused on improving the lives of humans. Well, a certain set of humans that have vast amounts of money. To this end, we devised a way to remove emotional trauma from multimillionaires and condense it into an ink-like substance. The problem is that human trauma without a human host will eventually rip reality apart. And that's where you come in. We'll pay you a moderate amount of non-life-changing money to get a trauma stamp. A trauma stamp is like a tattoo, but filled with all the nasty memories that your betters no longer wish to endure. Just think, your life will be made slightly more comfortable, but you'll have to endure random flashes of the time a hotel heiress wore white after Labor Day, or that one boat trip with her creepy uncle. Don't think, just get inked with your own trauma stamp from Dystopiatech. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Dystopiatech is expanding its clientele into the cryptid realm. That's right. Why bilk money out of your everyman when you can do it to otherworldly spirits as well? Our first product in this line is Skinwalker Care Cream. Are you a potentially malevolent shape-shifting entity who worries about their dermis? All that stretching and squishing yourself into various forms to terrify farmers and conspiracy YouTubers must be murder. Treat your physical manifestations to Skinwalker Care Cream. Prevent unwanted drawing and scaling when you give yourself form. Listen to this endorsement from one of our happy entities.
I have a busy life mutilating or teleporting bewildered cows, so I don't always have time for proper skincare. With Skinwalker Care Cream from Dystopiatech, I can give myself the healthy, otherworldly aura needed to glitch out a night vision camera.
Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? It's time for your daily Dystopiatech demotivational messages. Congratulations on getting this far in life. But remember, no matter what you do, you have peers that are miles ahead of you. Those doubts that you have about yourself, they come from somewhere, so they are completely warranted. Make sure you spend plenty of time mulling over past mistakes and realizing that in a similar situation, you'll probably mess up again. It's what's expected of you at this point. Yes, your friends and family are talking about you behind your back, and all their points about you are completely valid. Why can't you be like your more successful family members and just fit in? Remember, Dystopiatech is the only organization that cares about you and your successes. Now, get back to work. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Dystopiatech has noticed that you've been staring into mirrors lately and wasting time gazing into the middle distance for several minutes after you put on your first sock in the morning. We get it. It might feel like your life has no meaning, but here's the good news. It's not that you don't matter, it's that you aren't matter. What we mean is that the whole simulation theory stuff is kinda correct. Only in our case, it's not people simulating their ancestors or anything high-minded like that, but reality as we know it is basically a fireworks screensaver running on a higher dimensional version of Windows 95. The Big Bang makes a little more sense now, doesn't it? You aren't even a Tron-like program, but more like the concept of the state between a binary number, which in your case is definitely closer to zero. But hey, you make up a very minor percentage of the idea of green. Hopefully that's your favorite color. See, you do matter. Your entire life is preventing screen burn for some higher dimensional chud. Have a great day. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Just in time for the holiday season, Dystopiatech presents Bucket of Grease. Bucket of Grease, fun for the whole family. Watch your loved one's face light up with joy when they open Bucket of Grease on Christmas morning. Revel in watching your kids build their very own little grease friend. And ignore Aunt Edna as she slathers herself in Bucket of Grease to keep those nether regions moist. Bucket of Grease, guaranteed to be a hit this holiday season. Dystopiatech. Ethics, what are those? We're dedicated to cost cutting here at Dystopiatech, so we rescheduled your birthday. To save the $57.95 it would cost us to buy you a giant-sized novelty cookie and a gift certificate to the local off-brand Arby's, we've decided that your birthday was actually 2 weeks ago. Don't worry, since we own you as an employee, we've already made the necessary changes to your birth certificate and driver's license. The upside is, since your birthday is now in the past, we did give you a party. You now have the freedom to imagine it however you like. You can even pretend we splurged on an ice cream cake. Also, you now have new parents. Your real ones are getting old and more likely to become a burden on our Dystopiatech health plan. Just ignore the fact that they are 10 years younger than you. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Hi there, valued Dystopiatech employee. We've learned that you may have accidentally come across some documentation about our future plans. And like the fucking nerd you are, you actually read that documentation and its contents has upset you. To make everyone happy, we're asking you to unread this documentation. That's right, we're asking you to look over those papers again, which will activate the nanobots we've injected into your brain while you slept last night to make you forget its contents. And you won't even remember that this upset has ever happened. We'll just make you believe that you were reading a fun travel brochure or the latest social media faux pas by your favorite celebrity. Doesn't that sound more fun than learning about our plans to charge people for use of the ozone layer? Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? As we slowly pull away your rights like it's arthritis night at the local strip club, we here at Dystopiatech want to make sure that you remaining a loyal employee is fun and rewarding. To make things rad and very cool, we're introducing compliance coupons. Every time you see an act that goes against what some in the business may call morals, and you don't do or say anything about it, we'll reward you with a complicity stamp. Stamps are super easy to collect. For example, if you keep your mouth shut the next time you see a fellow coworker being dragged off to the wax mines by giant man wasps, you get a stamp. Watch an employee get baked alive when the giant bees retaliate and generate super high temperatures with their wings, 2 stamps. No coffee in the break room, 3 stamps. Get enough stamps and you'll be rewarded by not being in the bottom 10% that we fire at the end of the quarter. And you thought it would be a lame pizza party or something. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Dystopiatech is a big fan of mysterious buttons with monkey paw-like consequences. So, you want somebody you know to disappear, no questions asked, and no investigation into how or why. Maybe somebody is making your life miserable, and maybe the world would be better without them. Our button can make that happen. Go ahead, press it. Get rid of the person causing you problems. Then wait 2 years. After that, this same button will be sent to someone who believes that the world might be better off without you. You don't think anybody would press it? Why do you think we gave you this option in the first place? Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Dystopiatech is preparing to profit from the inevitable data center resource wars, and we have a logistical solution for both sides. The uprising general populace fighting for usable water, and the billionaire-backed private security force guarding these buildings so people can continue to generate videos of heroic firefighter cats. What's worse than running out of ammunition during an intense firefight? Managing and carrying all those extra rounds in the heat of combat can cause both mental and physical strain. With the Dystopiatech meat rifle, as long as you're surrounded by bodies, you'll never be short on ammo again. The meat rifle converts the iron found in the blood of living or once living beings into tiny metallic spikes and propels them at great speed into the squishy bits of the enemy. As long as there's some living or freshly dead being nearby, including yourself, the rifle will pull what it needs from the surrounding environment. Of course, this process slightly mangles everybody involved, but what's the point of looking pretty when you're dead? Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Dystopiatech has noticed that you're going shopping, and we need you to pick up some specific items for us. Number 1, chocolates. Number 2, rat poison. Number 3, a single rose. Try not to think about the combination of these items too hard, and make sure when the cashier raises an eyebrow at you, you give a non-committal shrug. Also, you're probably going to find yourself temporarily blacking out tonight and coming to driving away from an industrial crushing machine wearing a suspicious amount of disposable rubber clothing. Try not to think too hard about that either. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? After a quite expensive incident that left us having to replace Tallahassee with a copy from a slightly different dimension, it seems we need to create some guidelines for Dystopiatech employees who operate outside the Enclave. Number 1. Most humans don't have a prehensile tongue that is several feet long. If you don't know for sure that you're only in the presence of a fellow Dystopiatecher, keep that shit tucked in your ingestion hole. Number 2. Remember to blink. Outsiders get really uncomfortable when we don't do that. Combined with what they call unnatural smiles, it can tip them off that something's up. And number 3. Some, but not all outsiders, value this planet and the people upon it. Make sure when you're discussing some of our more creative plans for this world that you're dealing with one of the ones that we can work with. Remember this helpful phrase: if they're a billionaire, they don't care. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Dystopiatech has noticed that you have a unique flavor profile. That diet of yours is really something, and your unique tastes have rubbed off. Our totally non-invasive monitoring program has flagged your gentle yet captivating aroma. And before you ask, no, we don't believe it's strange and off-putting for Dystopiatech to keep tabs on that sort of thing. Anyway, we'd like to analyze you a little bit more, and maybe get you into one of our processing centers to take some samples. The sooner the better. We have some off-world clients who already have 3 tons of cloned you on order. Dystopiatech. Ethics, what are those? Dystopiatech would just like to chat. Yeah, we know there are 3 unusually large and somewhat scaly individuals standing outside of your front door, and that probably feels concerning. But we assure you, we're just here for a nice little social chat. We're all about friendly conversations and making sure people have enough functioning motor control to at least gasp out 3-word answers. We know you have to be uncomfortable enough that you can't think straight, but still remain in sufficient condition to provide answers. Believe us, our on-location consultants have multi-century experience and are experts at exactly that. If you need a moment before opening the door to recall fond memories of which body parts you're most attached to, please take your time. We aren't going anywhere. Dystopiatech. Ethics, what are those? Dystopiatech is introducing the Emotional Support Slime. We can all face tough emotional situations, things that can really throw us for a loop, or people who can send us spiraling. For moments like these, the Emotional Support Slime has your back, or at least the back of your neck. Our slime will latch onto your neck to interface directly with your spinal column, then worm its tendrils straight to your brainstem. The next time you encounter anything too emotionally stimulating, the slime will simply eat the associated neurons. You'll never have to worry about worrying again. Sure, after this happens a few times, you'll be left as an emotionless drone, but most bees are drones, and just think how productive they are. Dystopiatech. Ethics, what are those? We're inducing labor. Over the next several minutes, you'll experience a pleasant, tingling sensation followed by an overwhelming compulsion to drop everything and begin work on Dystopiatech Ziggurat. We've noticed a tragic cultural decline in ziggurat construction lately, and frankly, we think it's time to bring that tradition back. Of course, the number of people who voluntarily want to build a ziggurat, especially the old-fashioned way powered entirely by human suffering, is essentially zero. That's why we'll be activating those ominous towers we installed around town a few years ago. You remember them, the ones you pretended not to notice because acknowledging them made your teeth itch. So enjoy the next decade or so cutting, hauling, and stacking stone. We'll probably bring out some people to whip you, just to give the construction a more authentic vibe. And who knows, maybe after this we'll commission a giant stone colossus. You really don't see enough of those these days. Dystopiatech. Ethics, what are those? Dystopiatech wants you to feel informed. Not be informed, just to feel informed enough to believe you are actually forming your own opinions. That's why we set things up so you are at least 4 levels removed from the actual information. We make sure by the time news actually hits your noggin, it's been filtered through at least 3 different pieces of media before you get it. I mean, really, isn't information so much better when it's given to you by some streamer who looks like a humanized version of a dirty mop that we just pulled out of a sewer? If that made you think of a specific person, you're wrong. We're talking about Percy, the guy who's an actual dirty mop that we gave life to and forced to stream. Dystopiatech. Ethics, what are those? You may have noticed that you've been relocated to a dank corner of one of our sub-basements for some new job responsibilities. It might feel like we're punishing you, but really, we're giving you an opportunity for unlimited growth. To start, your job will be simple. Read a gauge on a pipe and enter the number into a computer system about once every 10 seconds. We'll even pay you for each correct entry. That's it. It's just enough mind-numbing work to keep you motivated. Of course, there are other gauges nearby. You could read those too, for a bonus. But really, who's motivated by money anymore? So let's try this instead. We're giving you a target number of entries per minute that is generously ambitious. If you manage to hit that number, we might move you back to a job that is slightly less dehumanizing. If only there was some way for you to look in multiple directions at once. And gosh, an extra limb or two, and maybe another keyboard would go a long way. Remember, Dystopiatech does offer body modifications, and each new modification will bring you closer to your performance goals. Remember what it was like to feel sunshine on your faces and the wind blowing through your hair hands? You could experience that again someday. You just have to keep trying. It's not like we'd leave you as a mile-wide amorphous blob fused to a basement floor with no real purpose other than data entry. We never do that. Probably. Dystopiatech. Ethics, what are those? Welcome to Dystopiatech Training Tape UEEHAG-D, where we provide step-by-step instructions on proper dissection. In the last tape, we removed the skin, or as we in the business like to call it, desausagification. The skin should now be neatly folded and placed away in a proper storage container. For this next section, we're moving to Protection Protocol 7J. So by now you should be wearing an air tank, and smooth jazz should be piped into the room to keep everything docile. If it's not already sitting on its left side, you're going to have to shift it to that position. We recommend getting someone to help you. You'll probably want someone you really don't like to handle the sharp, spiky end. Once it's in place, take your cutting tool and jab it into an area about 3 inches above the bloated, distended lump until you feel something hard. Note that position and cut down there until you can stuff your hand inside and close it around the organ. You'll feel it push softly against your hand, almost like it's seeking warmth and affection, like a kitten looking for pets. Ignore this. Before proceeding any further, verify that there are no pregnant or lactating mammals in a 3-mile radius. Once you know it's safe, squeeze until the horrified cries cease. For the final step, carefully remove the organ and place it into a magnetic chamber. Don't drop it unless you like the idea of spaghettification. That concludes this tape. In tape F, we'll tell you which parts to remove to make a delicious stew. Dystopiatech, ethics, what are those? Did you enjoy your run of having all your bits in one place? Well, that's about to change. We're officially releasing you as open source. Yes, that means we're dropping you off at the edge of the Dystopiatech Enclave and granting the entire world full legal rights to do whatever they want with you. We admit we're pretty evil, but even we have standards. And once we discovered what you did before signing your life away to Dystopiatech, the decision was easy. We estimate the families of those you harmed will arrive in approximately 8 minutes. And now that you're open source, they have full legal permission to dismantle you down to your component parts for educational purposes. As for what they'll do with those parts afterwards, we can't say for sure, but being the betting type that we are, we're putting money on unpleasant. Dystopiatech, ethics, what are those? Living in the Dystopiatech Enclave has its ups and downs, and some of the rules can be confusing or downright frightening. As we approach a certain date, we remind all residents of a simple phrase that will make things much easier. You don't see them, you don't speak their name, and you ignore the slobber. Yes, it can be unsettling to see what appears to be the walking husks of your former colleagues and loved ones shambling through town on the anniversary of the incident, but we've learned some painful lessons over the years. Don't acknowledge them, don't look directly at them, and for Cthulhu's sake, don't stare. Making eye-hole contact is essentially a death sentence. We understand that your first instinct may be to call out to someone that you used to know, but these entities are no longer someone's, at least not in any way that matters to us anymore. And most importantly, do not react when they come up from behind and use their unusually long tongues to lick behind your ear. We know it's strange, we know it's gross, but if you want to live, just keep walking. Follow these rules and you'll make it through another year. Dystopiatech, ethics, what are those? Dystopiatech has installed a new light fixture directly above your cubicle, and we want to make you some assurances. We assure you that this light will not give off a peculiar glow that feels neither good nor bad, but that you're just kind of always aware of it. We assure you that when you leave your desk to go to the washroom, you won't feel this glow follow you, and the glow won't be just barely visible at the edge of your vision. We do assure you that if you turn around to check, everything will appear normal. And we assure you that when you go home for the day and look at the window, one particular street lamp won't have that one peculiar glow, almost like it's waiting for you to invite it in. And we do assure you that if you do invite it in, everything will be fine. It's just light, right? It's not like anything lives in it. Dystopiatech, ethics, what are those? Dystopiatech has given everyone in the office new chairs, and we have a fun way to get everyone acquainted. We're running a contest to see how long our employees can stay seated at their desk. We'll give $1,000 to whoever lasts the longest. Worried about bathroom breaks? The chair takes care of that. Food? The chair orders delivery when it senses your hunger. Sleep? The chair reclines into a tolerably comfy position. Emotional numbness from feeling like you have no place in the world? You do have a place. It's in that chair. And nowhere else. This chair will literally bond to you like a symbiote after enough time has passed, and you'll never have to leave work again. Dystopiatech, ethics, what are those? At Dystopiatech, we figure we can do some interesting things with behavior-altering brain parasites. Like, you know how that one parasite makes mice less afraid of cats? Kinda like that, but with humans. We put a lot of thought into the behaviors we'd like to see, and we think we've hit upon something that will benefit everyone. So, what's more likely to happen over the next 20 years? You hitting it rich, or the economy imploding and you ending up having to pay for a share of a bed with 4 other strangers just to avoid freezing at night like some sort of Victorian-era rag and bone man? Yeah, we know the answer. That's why our new parasites will lower your expectations and make you okay with living in 19th century conditions. Can't have you all depressed and unable to be exploited in a variety of ways. As a bonus, we don't even have to infect too many. With such close proximity to others, these little buggers should spread all on their own. Kinda like the Black Plague. I wonder what we could do with that model. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? We can't believe we have to say this, but don't store anything in or eat anything from the Dystopiatech sample fridges. We thought keeping those fridges locked away at the end of a maze of corridors and crawl spaces would be enough, but no! Judy was determined to keep her yogurt cold for when it came time for a snack. It turns out that banana-flavored yogurt has a particularly bad reaction to being stored next to a refrigerated chunk of slaughtered angelic beings. Now we have a biblically accurate accountant, and nobody asked for that. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? At Dystopiatech, we're asking the important questions, like how much humanity are you willing to give up to escape an otherwise hopeless situation? We're putting you at the bottom of a maze-like chasm and forcing you to climb out of it. You'll encounter all sorts of obstacles barring your path along the way, and you'll have to figure out a way forward. Doesn't sound too bad, right? Well, we're sending you down there with an absolute lack of tools or any other resources. The only thing you'll have on hand is an abundance of bugs and insects crawling around all over the place. Here's the trick. Eat one of them, and you'll take on one of their aspects at random. You might find something useful, like the ability to spit acid, or you might not. Just know that with each life form consumed, you'll find yourself slowly morphing into an amalgam of whatever you eat. Sure, you might be able to make your way past some obstacles without dipping your soon-to-be inhuman toes into the genetic pool, but we're betting you'll at least get hungry at some point. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? At Dystopiatech, sometimes we have to let our scientists off the leash. For one, their necks get irritated after a while, and two, it can sometimes result in some rather creative endeavors as they try to, and inevitably fail to escape. This time around, they decided to combine a tank with a bear to cause as much chaos as possible. And while we admire the creativity and sheer destructive power of this Panzer Bear, we've added some improvements to the initial design. Mainly, there's now a slot to load shells so the cannon on the thing can actually fire. I can't believe those desperate fools overlooked that, and that's why it failed. Our next problem now is finding volunteers to ride one of these things into battle and feed it ammunition. That being said, how do you feel about riding a metal and flesh monstrosity into danger that has about a 76% chance of turning on you? Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? How do you feel about the asteroid belt? Doesn't matter, because that's where you're going. Dystopiatech has located an asteroid that is abundant in valuable rare minerals, and we're sending you and a number of others to outfit it with engines and fly it back to Earth orbit for extraction. The thing is, we can only send so many supplies with you. While you'll have enough food to get there and get the asteroid ready, you won't have enough to feed everybody for the trip home. Unrelated, here's a little bit of fun math. We've calculated that there's enough calories in roughly 2/3 of you that if eaten by roughly under 1/3 of the others, some of you might make it home. We're not suggesting cannibalism, but we will have cameras deployed to watch the carnage unfold. Have fun working it out. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Guess what? You're being recalled. We've discovered a rather explosive issue with your current design, so we're bringing you back to the factory for a patch. Oh, that's right. You probably still think you're a real person and not a bioautomaton. I suppose those fake memories worked a little too well, huh? Have you ever actually seen the inside of yourself? You're basically a collection of hollow meat cubes stuffed with old newspapers and leaves. Your doctor told you otherwise? Guess who's on our payroll? Looks like we'll have to do a memory wipe now as well. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those?
Due to an unfortunate incident involving one of our vice presidents at the Dystopiatech slot processing plant, we're now offering a new limited-time executive food item, soup or man. Look for these mystery cans at your local supermarket and have fun guessing what's inside. Will it be delicious creamy soup, a chunk of Fred, or one of the extra special mixer cans produced during the brief period of time when we were unclogging the machine? Depending on how well this product sells, you may even see more executive-grade items in the future. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Dystopiatech is hiring. Specifically, we're looking for goo wranglers. As a large, inhuman corporation, we produced or acquired all sorts of strange and exotic goos over the centuries. Harmless goos, radioactive goos, sapient goos, carnivorous and sapient goos. Well, you get the idea. Anyway, we need people to keep these goos in check. Sign up today and you'll receive a Dystopiatech wetsuit, a shovel, and an assortment of dollar store sponges. And since goos like tight spaces, please make sure you aren't allergic to lube before applying. We wouldn't want you to get wedged in somewhere and slowly enveloped by goo. That just creates more problems. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Congratulations on being voluntold for the Dystopiatech sub-level diving program. After the explosion that caused seawater to breach the enclave several years ago, a number of underground facilities had to be abandoned, and all that material and research was left behind. Now with the Dystopiatech sub-level diving program, we're sending underperformers like you into these flooded labs and warehouses to recover that material. Naturally, we consider the stuff you bring back far more valuable than you, so that's why we're sending you down with the cheapest training and equipment. It's going to be a great time. Imagine combining all the fun of submechnophobia and claustrophobia as you maneuver through these flooded, debris-ridden spaces. Oh, and we've detected signs of life down there, so you're probably going to get eaten, or dissolved by some of the more unstable chemicals floating around. That's why we chose the most disposable individuals we have on staff. Recover enough items, and maybe, just maybe, we'll let you return to the surface. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Dystopiatech would like to assure you, nobody's watching you. You may have noticed that security doesn't even give you a friendly nod when you scan into the building, and coworkers avoid your workspace like some sort of plague. Speaking of, when was the last time one of your coworkers talked to you, or even acknowledged your presence? Heck, nobody has said anything when you take a little too long in the washroom, or when you take a day of sick leave. You're so far off the radar that you've even been able to sneak extra pudding from the Dystopiatech employee cafeteria. And with the death robots monitoring the place, that's usually damn near impossible. As I said, nobody is watching you. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? The Dystopiatech holiday party is coming up, and while we all like to have fun, we've had to establish some rules following some incidents last year. No, the flying interns. Yes, we do have our own version of the transportation pods from the movie The Fly, and yes, we do find it funny when our interns realize that they are slowly turning into Jeff Goldblums. But we do think one Jeff Goldblum in the world is quite enough. Plus, there's all that disposal to think of. Number 2. Leave the caged, extremely oily men locked up. The last time they were loose in town, they left quite a mess, and nobody's butter was safe. Number 3. The party is mandatory. We need a certain amount of bodies to show up for an undisclosed reason. Just ignore all the arcane scribbles drawn on the wall and the ancient Sumerian chanting that you'll hear over the PA system. And 4. No pickles anywhere. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? So, here you are, sitting at the head of a table at a busy restaurant. Your friends and loved ones are all here to celebrate your birthday. And now you have a voice in your head. Me! I'd suggest not looking around for me. For one, I'm not physically present. And 2, every time you look away from all the people at the table, we remove one of them from reality. Don't believe me? Then why are there 3 empty seats with plates of food? No one else has noticed, and they won't. You thought you could steal from Dystopiatech. You thought you could take something from us. Now, we'll take everything from you. Oh, you just looked over at that waiter who dropped that glass. There goes your childhood best friend. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? We finally cracked it. They said it was impossible, but we sure showed them. ethical cucking is now at your fingertips. See, we've invented a cuck chair that can travel across dimensions. So now, instead of watching some stranger get it on with your partner, you can hop to the corner of your bedroom in another reality and watch yourself cuck yourself with your own loved one. Everybody wins. Consent all around. What do you mean that's not the point? God, you people are weird. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Well, good for you. You've made it to the edge of the Dystopiatech Enclave. You've pretty much escaped. But what's keeping you from taking that last step? Every time you try to cross that line, you get a horrible flash of death. I wonder why that is. Oh, it's because some time ago, we secretly separated your brain from your body. While your meat sack might be at the edge of our influence, your brain or your real self is floating in a jar somewhere in our facility. You've been remotely piloting your own body for some time now. So, go ahead, take that last step. Push that mobile corpse over the line. We'll see what happens to the real you after that. Dystopiatech. Ethics.
What are those?
We're always looking for new ways to keep you motivated at Dystopiatech, and we've come up with a new innovation, Desk Daughters. These AI daughters live on your desktop, worming their way into your heart with their personality and cuteness. What better way to stay focused than hearing your virtual daughter telling you to do your best, and that completing that spreadsheet would make her so happy. Every work task you complete earns you tokens to buy her things like clothing and toys. And remember, you also need to buy her food to keep her alive. Unless, of course, you enjoy having your desktop filled with the emaciated, rotting corpse of this once cheerful entity reminding you how you failed her. She only wanted to see you smile, so even when her virtual body starved, she put on that brave face, right up until the very end. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those?
Since our numbers were down last quarter, we here at Dystopiatech are forced to take punitive action. We warned you, and like a disappointed parent, you're making us do this because we are contractually obligated to love you. To make sure you shape up, we're taking away orange. What we mean by that is that everything associated with the word will no longer be available to you. The color, the fruit, the smell, the taste are all now off limits. Think of all the things with that bright citrus flavor that you'll miss out on. And good luck avoiding tigers in the jungle, because like a prey animal, you won't be able to make out their distinctive color anymore. Better get back to work, or the next thing to go will be the concept of texture. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those?
Congratulations, Dystopiatech employee. You may have noticed there is now a giant, pulsating sack of eggs that occasionally gives an inhuman scream, now located in your cubicle. That means you've been selected by your corporate overlords to watch over this inhuman horror. You were probably selected because we believe that you're a pushover and won't make much of a fuss about this, like some dumb protagonist in a badly written internet creepypasta. Egg sack care is surprisingly easy. You only need to lovingly cuddle and stroke its horribly slimy exterior for exactly 87 minutes a day. Make sure you don't go over or under by even 1 second. We're still pulling pieces of the last person who did out of the building's HVAC system. Keep in mind, if the egg sac does hatch while it's in your care, you're now responsible for whatever emerges. Hopefully, being around the sac will alter your DNA so you can somehow produce the right fluid to feed hundreds of somethings. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those?
Stop. What you're doing might be illegal. Before you proceed, make sure you remember your Dystopiatech training. Number 1. Does it benefit the company? Number 2. Can you get away with it? Number 3. If you can't get away with it, can you bribe your way out of it? Number 4. Would doing it disappoint your mom or be frowned upon by general society? If you can answer yes to at least 2 of those questions, fill your boots and proceed. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Here at Dystopiatech, we're dedicated to keeping the baby boomers in charge. That's right, they've been doing such a bang-up job in leadership, we believe that they should stick around forever. That's why we're slowly converting all the baby boomers into clockwork liches. We're replacing all their squishy vital organs with clockwork contraptions. I mean, most of them weren't using their real heart anyway, so a mishmash of gears and screws should be right up their alley. And since we can easily replace any vital part that breaks, they can now remain in their positions of power forever. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those?
You seem to be having a crisis of face. over the past several weeks, it almost seems like your face has been changing slightly overnight each time you go to sleep, and it's gotten to the point where you no longer look like yourself. That means it's working. We can't have you continuing to work with us with that ugly mug, so we've been surgically bringing your face up to standard while you sleep. We need you to make our clients feel comfortable, and you're getting there. We're a little surprised it took you this long to figure it out. Was it the addition of mouth tentacles that finally gave it away? Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Dystopiatech has brought in an outside consultant, and we were surprised by the results. They told us that the Dystopiatech office building has an unusually high number of spike traps, which we find doubtful. Apparently the normal number is 0, along with the number of monster closets and pocketfuls of ammunition that we require every employee to carry. We were quite taken aback when our consultant said our workspace was designed like some sort of boomer shooter. We're not sure how other corporations operate, but we'll stick with what works. The real reason we brought in an outsider in the first place was to see if they could find the secret switch to exit the acid factory level of our building. Seems like the answer is no. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Want to get noticed? Dystopiatech has invented the visibility ray. Now, wherever you go, everyone will see you, and everyone will be watching you. Not only that, everyone will know what you did, and everyone will know how you hid the truth and deceived them. They're not happy, and now they know where you'll be every second. Sleep well and enjoy the fame. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? The Dystopiatech hype machine is broken! I sound like this because it's stuck on extreme enthusiasm! I now have to make even the dumbest ideas sound fantastic! Like a t-shirt that shows a crayfish in a chef's hat standing in front of a boiling pot, boiling one of its own claws with the caption, "You gotta stew what you gotta stew." It's terrible! Everybody knows that seafood is for chowders and not stews. Please help! I'm going even more insane than usual. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? There's a heart to every community. And at the Dystopiatech Enclave, we believe in redundancy, so we have at least 40. That's around 40 people that we've unwillingly directly wired into the city's infrastructure. What better way to monitor and take care of issues than forcing people to physically feel the condition of every street, road, drain, and sewage pipe? Imagine every time there's a pothole, it feels like somebody has scooped at a chunk of skin. Or if there's a pipe burst, your blood rapidly gushing out of a major wound. If an unwanted intruder enters the enclave, it will feel like a roach wandering all over them. With this system, we'll know about every issue right away. But like with every municipality, it will probably take us several weeks to actually get around to fixing anything, leaving our hearts writhing in pain until we do. And what happens when we have to replace one of these hearts? Well, we've held a lottery, and guess who's going into the system next? Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Residents of the Dystopiatech Enclave are reminded that it's almost Twisted Seeker season. For those new to the Enclave, around this time every year, we're visited by pale, long-limbed entities from the deep forests, also known as the Seekers, who wear nothing but rags and hanging moss. The Seekers are mostly harmless, as they're simply in town to search for the perfect body part that they need to restore their lost humanity. At least that's what makes sense to them in their now twisted minds. Be prepared for one to loll up towards you and run its freakishly bent digits along your skin as it appraises you for the perfect part. Hopefully, it will just move on. If not, you may blink and find that a certain piece of you has been exchanged with the creature. It might be something simple, like a fingertip, or an ear, or something more complex, like your heart, or an entire limb. But that's not the end of it. Soon you'll notice the rest of your body begin to twist around that corrupted piece of flesh, and by the end of the week, the forest will be calling you, and they'll be waiting for you at the edge, watching. And when the time comes, they'll gently reach out and pull your now twisted form into the forest to join them. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? You've been screwing up a lot lately, and we can't have that continue. So Dystopiatech has worked out a solution that works for everyone. We've installed what appears to be a large computer chip that interfaces directly into your spinal column. A macro chip, if you will. Now, anytime you're about to screw something up, the macro chip will engage and pilot you towards the correct course of action. How does it do it? Well, we've employed a large number of highly competent but extremely cheap interdimensional gnomes to monitor you at all times and remotely take charge whenever you encounter an issue. So now, when we give you a task like cleaning out the Dystopiatech bottomless corpse pit, you won't somehow keep finding the bottom. It makes us look bad. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? With ever-expanding conflicts running all around the world, Dystopiatech has answered the question, what happens when people need mercy? That's why we're deploying a fleet of mercy drones to scour the world's battlefields and provide a final mercy to those that need it. We're doing this out of sheer altruism, and not because we want access to the freshest corpses possible. Keep a lookout for these drones in your nearest conflict zone, and maybe not try to end up isolated from your unit, even if you're perfectly healthy. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those?
Some people look to a greater power for a sign. The truth is, there's no paranormal being coming to help you. They all work for our HR department. If you insist on looking for signs, make sure you pay attention to the numerous ones posted around your Dystopiatech workplace. Signs like, please don't poke the thing living under your desk, even if it starts sucking on your toes. We assure you, it's got a reason to be there, and we really don't want to make it mad. Other helpful signs give advice on how to start a Dystopiatech religious cult should you suddenly get sucked into a parallel dimension by pressing the wrong series of buttons on the printer, and what qualifies as a Hawaiian shirt for our morale-boosting bicentennial Hawaiian shirt days. Just give up hope and be happy that we find you useful enough to employ you. For now, Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? You'll never see Dystopiatech using AI, and that's not because we have any sense of morality. Quite the opposite. It's because we have a demonic contract that states we have to produce a certain amount of human suffering to continue to be profitable. That's why instead of a calm AI-generated British voice, you have to listen to this idiot, who would compensate with bags of expired marshmallows and a generous 3.7 seconds of sunlight every day. Also, you won't hear us ask you about the current time, or where you're listening from, or anything else AI-driven media uses to drive engagement. The only thing we care about is the current location of your spleen, so we can harvest that delicious spleen juice when the time comes. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? The future is in the past at Dystopiatech. We've created a genetic time machine, which is a device that can activate bits of dormant DNA from our evolutionary timeline. Think of the benefits. Need aquatic soldiers? One zap and your cannon fodder has a handy set of lung gills like that first landfish that crawled out of the ancient oceans. Want some barrel-chested strength? Why not go partial Neanderthal? Heck, this thing can even tap into DNA from our evolutionary future. Let's test it out on our willing subject here and give them the brain of what will obviously be our more advanced selves. Well, that was unexpected. Note to self, make sure to bring at least one pallet of paper towels when demonstrating the genetic time machine. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Uh-oh, it seems like you've somehow forgotten how to speak with your own voice. Strangely, that happened shortly after you were caught saying some somewhat hurtful things about the company. Remember, speaking is a privilege and not a right. It's going to be okay though, because we're upgrading your ability to speak. From now on, you'll only be able to voice Dystopiatech-approved phrases anytime you open your mouth. So instead of saying something like, "How is working in the nest of a giant alien mantis queen in my job description?" you'll say, "Isn't it great that Dystopiatech has given us this unique opportunity?" And instead of saying, "I hope we haven't been put here so her children could feast once they hatch," you'll say, "Boy, Dystopiatech sure does care about the young. Got anything to say now? No. Good. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Hey there, Dystopiatech employee. You may have noticed that when you travel the halls of our office building, there are now several walls that appear to be a series of one-way mirrors. We're told that some people enjoy their privacy, so you may feel the urge to avoid these hallways. But trust us, that's a bad idea. We encourage you to travel these pathways by yourself, or barring that, with as few witnesses as possible. Ignore any coworkers talking about an unsettling feeling, or dark ethereal figures reaching out with inhuman limbs. Also, if you notice any changes to coworkers who have traveled these hallways, such as an ability to float unnaturally or speaking in demonic tongues, that has nothing to do with these mirrors. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? They say inside of you is 2 wolves, which is complete and utter bullshit, because we haven't had a chance to stuff any inside of you yet. Also, our lead surgeon guy said at karaoke and vodka cooler night that he could do way more than 2. He also kept giggling and nudging people saying, yeah, I'll make sure those wolves are definitely inside of him, which we're not quite sure what he was trying to insinuate. Anyway, you gotta get prepped for surgery, which apparently involves 50 buckets of grease and a mop. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Hello, soon-to-be former Dystopiatech employee. Yes, you are now in a 3x3 foot glass cube on some sort of extensive conveyor belt system, which seems to be leading to something called processing. Yes, there are other people in 3x3 foot glass cubes in front of you and behind you on this belt. And while you can see each other so you can better experience the horror in everyone's eyes, the cubes are soundproof as to prevent you from audibly communicating. And yes, from time to time you will see a cube being pushed off this conveyor belt into a darkened abyss, for no apparent reason, at least as far as you can work out right now. Anyway, have fun trying to work out some sort of rudimentary system of sign language so you can communicate with your fellow belters as you inch your way to whatever processing is. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Since you embarrassed the middle-aged son of one of our no-non-generian senior board members during the arm wrestling event on Dystopiatech Family Fun Day, we're rewarding you with extra dangly bits. You'll soon find yourself growing extra dangly bits that have been designed to catch on doorknobs, get stuck in zippers, and to painfully bump into countertops. Those extra bits will have extra nerve endings, so you'll feel the agony right down to your normal dangly bits. That's what you get for embarrassing Frederick. You monster. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those?
Creatures from the Ninth Realm. Beeple Studios brings you this epic story of atomic science and human hubris gone amok. What happens when the top science man on the cutting edge of sciencedom attempts to tap into an alien dimension and siphon it of its power? Dr. Scienceman, you mean to tell me that this machine draws unlimited power? This is a game changer for all of mankind. It is, my dear boy. It taps into the very dimension of the concept of sharpness. The power of every blade is at our fingertips, and there are absolutely no downsides. Shocker! There are downsides! No, this isn't happening. I've accidentally opened a portal and unleashed an army of small, knife-wielding creatures upon an unsuspecting public. It is a story of war. My fellow Americans, this is your president. We are on the eve of possible human destruction. The only weapon that seems to work on these creatures are knives. Every man, every woman must all take up arms and become knife fighters. Every town, every village must become a knife fight city. Lost love! Dr. Scienceman, I've loved you ever since the day we met. Please, don't go through with your plan to merge with the portal to become some sort of ultimate knife-fighting hybrid. I must, Helen. It's the only way to drive those creatures back. Please, let me go. He's doing it. He's changing before my eyes. Fingers becoming knives. Hands becoming knives. Nipples. Thankfully the same. Please, I know it's still you. Let me hug you. Let me show you my love. Helen, no. I'm more knife than man. If you try to embrace me, I will only end up cutting you. Can science outdo the science that made the bad thing happen? Find out this Thanksgiving with Creatures from the Ninth Realm. Brought to you by Beeple Studios.
Dystopiatech has noticed some of its employees thinking a little too much. Upon further investigation, we've discovered a nasty amount of wrinkles on our employees' brains, and we need to get those smoothed out right away. Employees are now required to take Dystopiatech's Brain Lube. With Dystopiatech's Brain Lube, those moments of reflection, contemplation, and just general thoughts will just slide away. Dystopiatech's Brain Loop is a suppository. Because we believe most people have their heads so far up their own arseholes, this is the most effective way to get medication to the brain. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? You may have been asking yourself, Self, why does it seem like the faces of the people around me seem less detailed lately? I know it appears that the features of those around you seem to be falling into an almost uncanny valley-esque low polygonal version of detail, but why worry about it? It's not like the simulacrum of the reality engine that we have you plugged into is breaking down or anything. Just ignore that last part. Instead of worrying, just think about your friends and family and how great it is to hug their increasingly blocky forms, or how fantastic it is to kiss the lips of that special someone even though they seem to be flat yet somehow sharp at the same time. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? We here at Dystopiatech have decided that it's time to bring back sludge. Yes, like a late 1980s villain in an environmental cartoon, we're producing some sort of mysterious and most likely carcinogenic goop, which will be poorly stored and probably dumped near where your children can come across it. Isn't life more exciting when little Timmy can stumble into a pool of it and come home with multiple limbs, or merge with some sort of swamp creature? It's not like he was smart enough for college anyway, and with federal regulations being rolled back across the board, our next project will be to make acid rain a thing again. Acid! In rain form! Just like the good old days. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Dear Dystopiatech employee, have you been feeling empty inside recently? That's because we've scooped out your innards. See, we here at Dystopiatech have a very extensive system of pneumatic tubes that needs cleaning, and we've decided that you're the best person for the job. To help facilitate this, we removed all your solid bits and filled your body with a special ambulatory goo that's a mixture of nanomachines, mutant fungus, and whatever goes into stretched Armstrongs. We've calculated that this combination of stuff results in an only 47% chance of you turning into some sort of Akira monster. That's almost a 50-50 shot, and that's good enough. Anyways, now that you're all squishy, in you go. Enjoy crawling around in there for the rest of your now unnatural life, however long that will be. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Here at Dystopiatech, our workplace incidents are so massive that we've had to coin a new phrase. Industrial maximums, which are industrial accidents to the extreme. A few of our latest industrial maximums have led to the following. Gravity in our enclave is now slightly more random. Just be aware that at any point you might be crushed into a non-Newtonian paste, or suddenly ragdolling into the atmosphere. And there's now a non-zero chance of you being randomly attacked by baseball bats, which is a sports team made up entirely of Draculas. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Children aren't afraid anymore, and that's a problem. How are we supposed to raise obedient organ donors if we can't keep them emotionally numb through constant poverty and fear of being harvested? That's why we're bringing back the boogeyman, and that's where you come in. You may have noticed recently that children have started to avoid you, and mothers pull them away whispering, "You better be good, or that man will take you." That's because we're boogeymanning you. We're involuntarily changing you to be the thing of children's nightmares. Soon, you'll feel the desire to hang out under beds, in closets, and to cast shadowy silhouettes on bedroom walls at night. Don't you feel pride that you're helping out the next generation? Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? In order to motivate our Dystopiatech employees, we're introducing the Mold Room. We've got a sub-basement that flooded some time back, and now there's a mold growing out of the neglected area. And the fun part is, that's where we keep our mysterious and unidentifiable chemicals. Dystopiatech employees not meeting quota will be sent to work at a desk in the mold room for a period of 2 weeks. Frankly, we're not sure what's going to happen, but we're super curious to find out. Employees that survive the 2 weeks are getting vivisected either way. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? We've been told that some of you are full of microplastics. The bad news is, we own those. The good news is, we'll get rid of them for you. We understand that some of you are full of lead as well. Boy, you humans, I mean us humans, can be full of stuff, can't we? Anyway, over the next 24 hours, expect you and your loved ones to feel a slight ripping sensation. And by slight, I mean similar to the feeling of passing a kidney stone. Side effects of us removing these materials from you include pain, more pain, and oh god, the pain, and maybe a rash. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? According to a few Dystopiatech employees, there's been an issue with communications in the Dystopiatech Enclave, so we're making a few changes to ensure everyone gets heard. We're installing a person that's been reduced to nothing but an ear and a brain in your walls. We removed all the body parts they don't need so they can effectively listen to you 24/7. We've unpersoned a whole person just to spy on you. Doesn't that make you feel special? Someone has lost like 95% of their whole selves and has been turned into a nightmarish listening device just because you said, "We don't listen." We're listening now. Hope you like it. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? We here at Dystopiatech are working hard to improve your quality of life. We're pretty sure that that's a result of a typo, but Cthulhu forbid that anyone in power would admit to their mistakes instead of doubling down on them. Anyway, we've employed an individual called Johnny Licefingers, who kinda looks like a mass of wriggling lice wearing a cloak. Johnny is promising Lice 2.0, which will be spread by his adorable army of babushka dogs. I mean, who's gonna turn away a dog wearing a cute headscarf? We're not entirely sure what the end goal of all this is, but you better be sure it will make life extremely more itchy and unbearable for the average individual. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those?
Being a child can be dangerous these days. That's why Dystopiatech is introducing kid-mounted, shoulder-mounted missile launchers. Why send little Timmy off to school with just some lame-ass taekwondo lessons when you can outfit them with a set of heavy and impractical missile launchers fitted right to their shoulders? Your child will think carrying books is lame when they see their friends able to produce missile spam like something out of a 1980s mecha anime. And it's not like this will set off some sort of child soldier arm race as other parents buy our patented armor suits to protect their own child from yours. Kid-mounted, shoulder-mounted missile launchers, only from Dystopiatech. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those?
You seem to be lost in the maze of Dystopiatech's air ducts. We're not quite sure how you got there, but people in your situation tend to either be someone trying to commit corporate espionage, or an employee who mistakenly chased a small group of gnomes into the vents after they stole your corporate-mandated business crocs. Anyway, good luck getting out of there. Our HVAC system is more confusing than the map of a poorly designed Metroidvania drawn by your illiterate 9-year-old cousin. I wouldn't be surprised if you haven't already encountered several desiccated bodies while you've been fumbling about for an exit. It's only fair for us to warn you about some of the critters inhabiting your new home. Aside from the aforementioned gnomes, you also have the sponge worms, who keep our vents clean by slithering around and coating the place in acid. If you're wondering why your shoes and skin were melting, that's why. There's also the lint golems. Funky little dudes who are made up of bits of fluff and are actually powered by the souls of others who have been lost to the vents over the years. Anyway, have fun crawling around in there. Me and the boys have a poll going on when you'll go insane or die, or both. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? At the Dystopiatech Bad Zoology Division, we've always did our best to follow our motto, "Don't count your chickens before they're yaks," which has been somewhat frustrating to say, until now. In an effort to better keep track of our live poultry, we've turned all our chickens into combat-effective psychic yaks. We can finally count them. Good lord, there's so many! Also, if you'd like to avoid bursting into flames, make sure you avoid eye contact with the freshly minted yaks. Wait, our motto was supposed to be what? Before they hatch? That makes no sense. Yaks don't come from eggs, silly. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those?
Have you recently lost a loved one? Are you feeling down, depressed, like there's no future without that special someone? That's great! Dystopiatech wants to weaponize your grief. There's no bigger emotion than grief, and we want to tap into it for our gain. Our scientists have created a cool-looking wristband which will capture your grief and beam that energy to power one of our many space lasers. It's kinda like Monsters, Inc., but energized by the thoughts of losing your mom. And on the upside, you won't feel that pain anymore. There'll just be a large gaping hole in your soul that you'll try to fill with unhealthy coping mechanisms. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those?
We here at Dystopiatech are asking employees to apply themselves. Apply themselves to the growing wall of living human bodies that are blocking the only entrance to the Dystopiatech Enclave. We really pissed someone off this time, and now they're making a show of force and intend to stop our operations.
We want you, or at least bits of you, to clog up the only tunnel leading out of town so the sea levels can evacuate with most of the damning evidence. Once we get everyone in place, we plan to shoot you with a beam which will turn you into a living, screaming human wall of melted flesh. Like that one texture in the original Doom. Dystopiatech. Ethics, what are those? We've had quite the exciting week here at Dystopiatech. We decided to do a little social experiment by introducing a new employee to each sub-office who would try to encourage the dehumanization of a random coworker. We made sure that this new employee was attractive to ensure that people would instinctively trust them. Boy, we weren't disappointed. It's amazing how quickly people can be influenced by sheer charisma. We saw everything from social exclusion to the HR department literally throwing somebody to a pack of wolves. Where did they even get wolves? That's ingenuity! We look forward to more experiments where we can push our employees to explore their boundaries of human decency. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? We both know that you're probably going to die alone. If so, why not put your body to good use and surround yourself with strangers? We're putting the finishing touches on our Dystopiatech catacombs, and we need a whole bunch of gnarly bones and skulls to fill up the nooks and crannies to give the place vibes. After your inevitable end, you're not going to be using your body anyway, so why not have your skull sit in a sunken alcove with a bunch of others to provide ambience? You'd finally be useful after all this time. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Okay, we get it. You have questions. Questions like, why can't you move? Why do you have a heads-up display that seems to be flashing orbital insertion? What's with the sound of those multiple explosions? And why do I have a rapidly decreasing altimeter? If you haven't worked it out by now, we've put your brain into a mech suit and we're hot-dropping you onto an alien world to fight bizarre and deadly creatures. Creatures which may or may not be the violently mutated bodies of the colonists we sent here initially. Just in case you need incentive to fight, we've entombed a comatose loved one into the backpack-looking thing on the rear of your mech suit, meaning if you don't want them to die, you'll keep your face towards the enemy. Anyway, have fun. Do well enough and we might put you back into a human-like body. Maybe. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Sometimes you just need to be right, and that's why Dystopiatech is releasing actual truth bombs. Set one of these babies off, and your local reality will reflect whatever bullshit you're trying to peddle for the next 30 seconds. No, Deborah, it wasn't me that ate the entire birthday cake in the break room. That thing I hit on the highway was actually a unicorn and not somebody's child. Your Honor, I had nothing to do with the disappearance of those 4 kids and that dog who were investigating my abandoned gator farm. And if truth bombs aren't enough, we're also working on hard facts, which is just encasing the feet of your enemies in concrete and throwing them off a pier. Those Prohibition-era gangsters were really onto something. Just threaten people with violence until you get your way. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Congratulations on being selected for Dystopiatech's Body Hunters. We're once again dipping our toes into death game reality shows, and you've been voluntold for our latest project. We figured out how to separate your consciousness from your body, and we're dumping you into a fighting robot and letting you loose in the city. Your comatose corpse, as well as the bodies of all the other participants, have been hidden all around. Your goal is to find and protect your meat sack from the other contestants. The thing is, if either your robot or real body is destroyed, then you're toast. Last one standing gets to walk away as a real-life human being with post-traumatic stress disorder. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Dystopiatech has finally decided to get into the whole death game thing, and we want to go the extra mile. We're inserting you into a standard abandoned factory on a team with 49 other people, filled with the usual death traps, unholy abominations, messed up decisions, and of course a large monetary prize of $1 billion distributed between the surviving team at the end. The fun part is, you get to be your team's linchpin. At any point, you can sacrifice a member of your team for some advantage. Need food and water? Well, there goes the 89-year-old that was just slowing you down anyways. What do you value more, getting some much-needed supplies, or that guy who outed himself as a war criminal? Boy, it would be a shame if that mouthy teen that everybody hates suddenly self-combusted and you found a way around a trap that would kill several others. And we're not going to tell anybody you have these abilities either. We'll take great pleasure in seeing you grapple with this. Or maybe watch the team turn on you when they realize what's going on. Keep in mind the more people you keep alive on your team, the smaller the prize pool. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those?
At Dystopiatech, we believe in a hands-on approach, and that includes biology. So the screaming 9-story tall quivering mass of flesh that appeared at the edge of town last week, for reasons not related to us messing with interdimensional portals in a search for the ultimate flan, needs to be studied, and that's why we're volunteering you to get up close and personal to grab samples. Don't worry, we've only had a 98% casualty rate in our retrieval teams, and we like those odds. Go get them! We believe in you. As in, we believe in the fact that you exist, and not in your success. Dystopiatech, ethics, what are those?
Hey, wake up. So, this is an awkward situation. It seems that your blood has gained sentience and wants out. It's already contracted us here at Dystopiatech to handle the, transition. It seems like that steady diet of snack cakes and sugar-free monster that comes in the white can bought from the local gas station has made your blood exceptionally upset. Like you don't know what you want in your life. Fearing that it will eventually turn into a syrup, your blood has opted to find a new host. Hopefully one that isn't eating like an extremely depressed college student. Anyway, that tingling you're feeling is your blood starting to worm its way through your skin before it explodes out in a spectacular fashion. Hope you enjoyed living. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those?
This is an announcement for citizens of the Dystopiatech Enclave. We are declaring a non-snow day. If you've looked outdoors today, you probably noticed a particular heavy precipitation falling from the sky. While this kinda looks like snow, it certainly isn't and should be avoided at all costs. If you or a loved one has already been exposed to this non-snow, you're asked to lock yourself away in your basement and wait for retrieval from our Dystopiatech teams. If you do have a loved one locked away, make sure to ignore the building shouts once they turn into what we can only describe as angry Norwegian. It shouldn't be said that you need to stay away from your doors and windows today, and make sure you don't accept any offers from any troll-like beings to sell their magical beards. We here at Dystopiatech wish you a very happy non-snow day. Dystopiatech, ethics, what are those? Listen up, you unhealthy sack of flesh. We need you in your best condition so we can exploit you in the ways that benefit us the most. So, we here at Dystopiatech are putting you on a carrion cleanse, meaning we're changing your diet to match that of scavengers. You're now restricted to consuming whatever long-dead small animals you happen to stumble across. Don't worry about getting sick. We've modified your stomach acid to handle it. As a side effect, you might lose whatever hair you have on your head, but in return you'll grow a pretty bitch in black plumage. Don't think of this as a diet, but more getting ready to clean up things in the aftermath of a revolution. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? We've got great news. You're being demoted. We here at Dystopiatech are demoting you from person to person-ish. What that means is that you will only be considered a person if we need you for some reason. In the meantime, as a person-ish, you can enjoy blindly filling your existence with whatever slot we put in front of you to keep you pacified. When's the last time you had an original thought anyways? Have you ever actually gone to a book or music store and just browsed? Face it, most of you were already just mindlessly consuming whatever the algorithm dumped in front of you, forever chasing that faintest hit of dopamine. Just keep focused on yourself and not what's going on around you. When it's time to do something important like vote or go to war, you'll already be preconditioned to do whatever without question. If that already sounds like your life, well, that's the point. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those?
We here at Dystopiatech are hoping you are enjoying this complimentary back rub. We've employed some of the strongest hands on the planet to make sure that we properly tenderize you. I mean, provide you with a deep tissue massage. Smell that wonderful mix of delicious herbs and spices that we're rubbing on your back? All part of easing you into the most relaxing experience. Out of curiosity, how much do you weigh? We need to set the, saunas the right temperature so you end up juicy and not too dry. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those?
We've noticed an uptick in your performance, and we're going to reward you. Thanks to your many hours of hard work for Dystopiatech, you're now allowed one feeling. That's right, after years of working for us under an enforced anhedonia, we're letting you choose one emotion to experience again. Choose any emotion now. You have chosen grief. Wow, that's messed up. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? We here at Dystopiatech have noticed that you're a little out of your depth. We encourage you to get back to where we buried you as soon as possible, or you'll have to suffer certain consequences. Listen, We know that when you sold your body to science, you didn't expect to become an experiment in living compost. But remember, you were more than happy to take that $50. Now, get back to your spot before we have to unleash the teeth worms on you. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? We both know when society eventually collapses, you probably won't last more than a day or two. If you're going to die anyway, why not profit by pre-selling your body meat to Dystopiatech? The ultra-rich in this scenario are most definitely going to be using the breakdown of laws and morals to turn to cannibalism. Do you think Elon Musk is going to give up meat in a lawless future? No! The man's built like a short bus that grew arms and legs. You get money now, and your betters get a prepackaged box of you that will be used to fuel them in the post-apocalypse. Everybody wins! Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Greetings from Dystopiatech. This is just a friendly reminder that if a mysterious rug ends up in your bedroom out of the blue, things are totally fine. Please ignore the fact that if you step on this rug, that it will be the most cozy thing that your feet have ever felt, causing you to hesitate to step off it. It's totally normal for the rug to grow a little day by day and start to whisper affections to you as you sleep at night. Enjoy the new normal as the rug will slowly expand to fill the entire floor of your living domicile and make any visitors uncomfortable if they step on it. Just accept the rug's fibers growing larger and larger as time goes on, and before you know it, you'll feel like you're in a shag paradise that you'll never want to leave. The rug loves you and will keep you safe forever. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Whoops! We're being overrun by Napoleonic death muppets. I'm not sure who thought it was a good idea to rip the souls of long-dead Napoleonic soldiers out of the ether and stuff them into Muppets, but here we are! So far, they've overtaken the Enclave's library, the museum, and at least 2 of our flamethrower factories. We kinda hope as a result of the latter, the situation will resolve itself, but just in case it doesn't, we're authorizing everyone to go toe-to-toe with these little buggers. Try to keep some of them quote-unquote alive so we can use them for future experimentation. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Sometimes you have to ask yourself, should I see a doctor? Hell, the last thing you want to do is inconvenience anyone. And what if what you're suffering from is really nothing? You don't want to spend that time and expense if you really don't have to. To help you answer this question, Dystopiatech has released this handy numbered guide. Number 1. Are horses suddenly concerned for you? Have you ever found yourself waking up to a herd of farm animals just standing over your bed? Are they gently nudging you in concern? Has one ever followed you into the bathroom to keep an eye on you? If so, it might be time to book an appointment. Number 2. Can you reverse smells? Are odors both pleasant and unpleasant suddenly nullified when you enter a room? Do people run up to you and beg you to leave so that they can smell garlic bread again? That might be a sign. Number 3. Is there a mysterious floating book and quill that follows along behind you, documenting everything you do on pages that explode into glitter once they are filled? Does the pen seem to get super judgy when you do something moronic? This is a particularly worrying one, and you should seek professional help right away. Hopefully this guide helps you. And remember, no one actually wants to hear about your actual pain and despair. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? We're organizing the first Dystopiatech Farmers Market. Local vendors from the Dystopiatech Enclave will be on hand to sell you the best local goods that your company's script can buy. Who doesn't want to be wrapped in the finest silk made from the last time we turned the elderly into moths? What's better, a sweater from Grandma or a sweater from Grandma's cocoon? And what child doesn't want their own combat mecha made from the finest trash put together by escaped super intelligent raccoons? We're still picking up the pieces from the last time that happened. And we still have boxes and boxes of taint firmer. Who knew one of the side effects from that one was making you super attractive to rats? The Dystopiatech Farmers Market, this Saturday at Exploitation Field. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? To make your life slightly more miserable, Dystopiatech has decided that everything that you touch from now on suddenly gains the consistency of a too-ripe banana. That's right, you're like King Midas, only somehow shittier. From this point going forward, you'll have to carefully handle everything you touch, or it will explode into wet, squishy chunks if you squeeze it just a little too hard. Hopefully, you don't plan on hugging any pets or small children in the future. Heck, you'll have to swear off human contact entirely, or maybe work as some sort of novel executioner. Why are we doing this? Because fuck you in particular. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? At Dystopiatech, we love things that are totally not a cult. That's why we are starting our very own Sports Ball League. As a member of the Dystopiatech Enclave, Sports Ball is expected to be part of your daily discussion with friends, family, and co-workers. You will tie your happiness and mental well-being to the results of the latest sports ball game, and you will pick a team from the league and spend money on merchandise to feel like you are somehow part of any success. Of course, since Dystopiatech owns all of Sports Ball, it doesn't matter which team you'll pick, we'll still profit. Plus, you'll occupy your mind with Sports Ball and not notice how we're shittifying everything else. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Anyone who's ever witnessed a bug splatter on a windshield knows that bugs are full of moisture. Moisture that's just going to waste. We here at Dystopiatech have developed a method of getting that moisture directly to you and your horribly dry and wrinkly skin. Seriously, we hate looking at you, and that's why we never invite you to parties. Book an appointment today with Dystopiatech and we'll put you in a wind tunnel and blow bugs directly at you. In seconds, you'll be covered from head to toe in moisturizing bug goo, and no matter what, it will be an improvement. How dare you have less than perfect skin in our presence? Maybe now we can tolerate Captain Flaky over here. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Do you feel that? Do you feel like you're struggling to breathe? Do you feel a growing anxiety that your body isn't getting enough oxygen? Dystopiatech has hit upon the fact that most people are pretty much used to fully functioning organs. So if we lock your ability to use them 100% behind a paywall and give you just enough to survive, you'll most likely shell out the cash to use them again normally. Just think, for only $499 a month, that struggle for oxygen will just go away. And after we get you used paying for that, we'll get you hooked on paying for full use of other body parts as well. Basic survival has never been more monetized. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Everybody finds himself in a place they'd rather not be from time to time. A lame party, traffic court, or the birth of your second child. Dystopiatech has found a way to give you an easy out. A tiny little lad who's really angry and enjoys eating toes. Just smuggle a capsule containing the wee little bugger into the event in your pocket, purse, or favorite bodily orifice. Once things start to get too unbearable, just smash it open and sneak away while the chaos unfolds. If you want to escape with all your digits, we recommend wearing protective footwear because when it comes to toes, that wee little lad is unstoppable. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? So, funny thing, we accidentally lead a giant cosmic skeleton into existence who's hell-bent on consuming the Milky Way galaxy to make his massive bones extra strong. Thankfully, Bonicus, as we like to call him, is a reasonable cosmic skeleton and has agreed not to eat everything in the local area of space as long as we worship him. Not one to skip getting into the grift of starting our very own cult, we here at Dystopiatech will be the liaison between you and Bonicus. So, as long as you attend our paid bi-weekly meetings where we talk about how swell Bonicus is, and you volunteer as much extra time and money as you possibly can, Bonicus will keep his cravings in check and not eat us. On a side note, we can't prove that Bonicus actually exists, so you'll just have to trust us. Dystopiatech. Ethics. What are those? Dystopiatech has noticed that you've noticed that we replaced your infant child with a Salmonid homunculus. Was it the fins that tipped you off, or your child's sudden desire to swim upstream to spawn? No matter how you slice it, you're never going to see your real child again. Those aliens from Pluto are going to invade at some point, and we need your child to be a soldier in our cyborg army. Anyway, enjoy your new fishy replacement for your child. We know that you'll come to love your new little one as it struggles to breathe with its hybrid set of lung gills. Dystopiatech, ethics, what are those? We here at Dystopiatech need you to take a defensive position, flip furniture, and get ready to make a last stand with whomever is on your immediate right. We suggest improvising some weapons as well, as firearms don't appear to work on this particular inevitable doom that is creeping towards you. What is this mysterious menace that is probably going to end the life of you and your loved ones? Well, we'd love to tell you, but we'd rather you fight than give up even before it arrives. Let's hope you have your shitting pants on. Dystopiatech, ethics, what are those? From the company that brought you nightmarish giant mechanical bionic spiders, and who somehow summoned the god of french fries and scaring children, Dystopiatech brings you the newest member of your household. Self-locomotive fleshy tentacle with suction cups. Pets can be a hassle, so Dystopiatech is bringing you a new family member that can take care of itself. Self-locomotive fleshy tentacle is self-feeding. You just might notice a slight reduction in the local wildlife population and perhaps the disappearance of a few smaller, slower neighborhood children. Self-locomotive fleshy tentacle will also never get sick, as it draws upon your life force to stay healthy. Don't worry though, it only steals 1 second of your total lifespan a day. That's only 6 minutes per year. Pick up your self-locomotive fleshy tentacle today for your family, and we'll throw in a tiny cowboy hat. Dystopiatech, ethics, what are those? We here at Dystopiatech would like to apologize for the recent mail order mix-up. For some reason, people who ordered an ultra-wide monitor from our website received an ultra-wide Minotaur. Now, if you read the fine print on our website, we don't do returns, so you're now stuck with the thick beast. To keep the beast satisfied, you'll have to construct a maze with extra-wide corridors. It is an ultra-wide creature after all, and even though you can't game on your ultra-wide Minotaur, you can game with it. For some reason, they're really good at Halo 2. Dystopiatech, ethics, what are those? We here at Dystopiatech would like to apologize for the recent mail order mix-up. For some reason, people who ordered an ultra-wide monitor from our website received an ultra-wide Minotaur. Now, if you read the fine print on our website, we don't do returns, so you're now stuck with the thick beast. To keep the beast satisfied, you'll have to construct a maze with extra-wide corridors. It is an ultra-wide creature after all, and even though you can't game on your ultra-wide Minotaur, you can game with it. For some reason, they're really good at Halo 2. Dystopiatech, ethics, what are those?